Okay, so today I have indicated that we would talk about the ethics foundation of yoga, because we teach the classical yoga, and the goal of classical yoga is not just to be fit or to be healthy, but is to attain to the truth of the self and to be free from any kind of suffering. So that's the stated purpose of this classical, very in-depth yoga. So I want to remind you that when you're born in this life, you have already certain tendency, yeah, and the tendency are the wrong thinking of the past. The wrong thinking of the past, that means also past life, considering that you might be okay with the theory of reincarnation and karma because it comes together. It explains a lot of things. So you would have to have a certain character, certain thought tendency due to your past thinking. Okay? So some past tendency are more sattvic, and some past tendency are more tamasic and rajasic. So I don't want to say good or bad, yeah, because tamasic is pulling down, rajasic is focused externally and egoistically, and sattvic is what we want. Sattvic is that which would bring about some level of purity and would lead you to the goal of freedom from suffering and gaining some insight about the true nature of reality and of yourself. But unfortunately, we are born also with that tamasic and rajasic tendency. Okay? So we would have to meet and face these tendencies within ourselves in order for us to take this life as an opportunity to revise them or to change behavior and to think and do things differently. Okay? So we think that we are quite unique, but we are not. Yeah, because the yoga philosophy, Vedanta philosophy, explain our common condition. Okay? So what is our common condition? Our common condition is called ignorance. Yeah, is spiritual ignorance, mean not knowing the true nature of ourselves, believing the ego self to be yourself, act out of this ego false self, and go deeper into ignorance. Okay? And that second thing is desire. Desire means that the rajasic mind come up with this I like and this I don't like. So I like this, I don't like this. And from there come desire. Because you're born with the body and mind very active with your temperament. So for sure, the desire is the main thing that guides your life. Okay? So, but the more a person is rajasic, I mean, they are egoistic and they are not aware and they do not train themselves into renunciation, into calmness. Renunciation means renunciation of ego, yeah, into the idea that I am not right. Yeah, maybe there is something I need to learn about myself, and then I need to follow what we call the yamas and niyamas, or the ethical guidelines of yoga. Okay, so that's why Patanjali Maharishi put it together, these 10 guidance, in order for us to sort out our tendency in our mind. And when we are free from these tendencies, then we will not create new karma in the future. Okay? Karma means some kind of wrong thinking that you would have to revisit again, be born again, and revisit again over and over again until you really understand the question. Okay? So for some of you, maybe it's okay to be reborn. It's not big a deal, to be reborn and to revisit, your wrong kind of thinking. Well, it's not a big deal. But for some, it's a very big deal, because you know that you can be free. So when you make a mistake and you repeat again the mistake, then you know that it would bring you backwards. So then for some, it's very more serious than others. Okay, so the guidance can be applied more seriously by others than some. Okay, so that's why it is said it's it's a general guidance, but it's good. The teacher nicely say it's good for you to be careful, with them and try to think about this. Okay, so if I say these are rules of conduct, then some people would not like it. So I learned not to say it's the rules of conduct, especially nowadays. Nobody likes to follow rules. So I say nicely, it's a guidance of the wise, that live, that experience life before us, and that who has have thought about this a lot, and they give us as kind of friendly guidance, and it's up to you to follow or not. So now I give you these 10, we say commandment, or 10 guidance, and to think about. It's something to think about and to apply every day, in all circumstances. So number one, in the yamas is the thing very easy for you to do, but it's better not to do, to refrain from. Okay? So number one is the guidance of ahimsa. Ahimsa means non-violence, non-injury towards all beings. So you cannot just be nice to the priest in the temple and you turn around and you beat the dog. It's not like this. So you have to be nice, be respectful toward everyone. And these are the emotion that comes with ahimsa. Ahimsa means violence. Ahimsa means non-violence. Okay? So what's the emotion that comes with ahimsa? I mean, what makes you commit act of violence? Okay? The main emotion is called anger. Okay? Anger makes you commit violence. Where anger comes from desire. Everything is about desire. Think about it. Anger comes from desire or expectation, unfulfilled. You want something to happen. You want somebody to behave a certain way, and they cannot. They do something completely different. So you are so angry at them. Okay? It's called selfish desire or selfish expectation. So selfish desire comes from our ego. Okay? Attachment to the ego. So you attach to your position as a boss, as a wife, as a husband, as a worker, whatever that you do, you attach to your position, and from there you have expectation. Okay? So you think it's legitimate. Fine, it makes sense. If you're a parent and then the children don't follow you and you're angry, yeah, if you're a teacher and the student wouldn't follow you and you're also angry, if you're a boss, yeah, that's a normal psychology. But yogic psychology is different. And I need you to think about this more, because yoga is a path of return, the path to try to find the perfection within yourself, to work on yourself in order for this perfection within you, who you are, be manifest. So it's not just acting normally, psychologically sane. Yeah, it's not this. It's a little bit more different if you want to follow the path of yoga. So the path of yoga say ahimsa is the rule number one. That means in all situations, try not to be angry. In all situations, try not to be angry. Even though somebody must have said something, done something, yeah. But there is a little nuance. It says that if in case, in situation that you are really acting not out of yourself at all, not out of your selfish motivation, but out of your unselfish, motivation, then you can be, we call indignant. The English word is indignant, righteous indignation. I mean, you can show anger without being angry. You can show anger in order for a person external to believe that you are angry, but in reality, you're not angry. Okay, so you have to be very, very careful, because we can misuse this called righteous indignation, because nobody say that you are selfish. Everyone say that I'm selfless, it's for others, but most of the time we are selfish. Okay, so that's the truth. Most of the time we are selfish. But it says, for example, if you pass by in the street and somebody is beating the dog, okay, so then you shout, you show that you are angry, so that the person stop beating the dog. Has nothing to do with you. Yeah. So that is called righteous indignation. Okay. But I believe myself that it is very difficult to distinguish between the two. Very difficult to distinguish between anger, that is based on selfishness, and righteous indignation that is based on the high sense of right and wrong and has nothing to do with you. So most of the time, anger is based on your own idea about things, your own expectation unfulfilled. Therefore, it is good in general to observe 100%, the rule of no anger. Okay? Anger comes with many forms of anger. Maybe you will not be enraged, furious, enraged, and retaliating, insulting. Maybe not. But maybe you are irritated. Yeah. You say, maybe only you hear it, you say negative thing. Yeah. But that's called anger. So it's for me, I think it's a worthwhile goal to really tame the mind. So it doesn't have any kind of sense of separation, sense of doership, sense of pride, sense of oneself, different than others. So this is a path to make you become a saint. But it's good to think about it, It's better to keep the bar very high, to keep the goal very high and tall, so you can work toward it, because the mind has one portion of the mind that all the time excuse ourselves, all the time say, oh, I'm angry because this, and and it's okay. The moment that you say that in your mind, the anger will come back in your mind again. And then the tendency will start over again. Of always me, my, I want this way, I want that way, and things don't happen my way, and the life continue the way how it is. With you in the center of the universe, you, the ego, you, and that's it. So that's, you miss the path of yoga. So yoga is different. Yoga says that, we need to get out of our spiritual ignorance to think that we are this body and this mind and this separate ego self. So you see, so just that declaration just say that things are completely different. Your goal is completely different. So, the Swami Sivananda, you read his books. In the beginning, you might be a little bit shocked, because he's so positive and he's so, you say, radical. Things for you are normal, but for him, no, he won't accept. But eventually, if you train yourself slowly, then you say he's right. Because our mind has that tendency to always excuse ourselves. So we always keep ourselves in the same life, same path, same idea, and we don't change. Okay? So practice the guidance 100%. So coming up is New Year soon. The time to make New Year resolve. So put in your New Year resolve the first rule, ahimsa. Try to practice, not to be angry at any time, at anybody. So with ahimsa come the second guidance, is satya. Satya means truthfulness. Truthfulness means being sincere, being open, being honest, being authentic. What you say, what you do, and what you think is the same. Okay? So satya in the strict sense is say not telling lies, but in a broader sense means living according to the truth. Okay? So in order for you to find the way home, in order for you to find the way to yoga, you will have to practice this thing to the letter. Otherwise, it's confusing. Now, you look at the world around you, it's confusing, is it not? Yeah. And you don't want to live in confusion. At least for yourself, you need to have some kind of path, some kind of light, yeah, in order for you to go home and feel safe and peaceful within your heart. But, around, all kinds of lies. The people that lies the most, they speak most loud. They're the loudest, yeah, broadcasting the lie. So nobody aspire to authenticity, not nobody, but, people somehow cease to aspire toward being an honest, simple person. And then we can be taken by the wave of the world. The wave of the world is, it's just a word away. Lie is just a word away. Yeah, some kind of motivation behind to harm. So then you exaggerate a little bit, or you exaggerate a lot, and one lie lead to another one. So you become, uh, you lose your way. So truthfulness, of course, you are on the path to find the truth. So therefore, you cannot be completely in the truth. Okay, but you have to be in the truth as much as possible. My favorite sentence, it says, be ready to satisfy, to sacrifice your dearest interest on the altar of truth. That means your truth of today and your truth of tomorrow is not the same. Why? Because you grow. If you don't grow, it's a shame. You don't grow, but we all grow. So therefore, we have to embrace new standard of truth. Yeah. And we have to trust that it has some value. We have to fight for it. Because if we compromise and we start to tell untruth, we start to act untruthfully and show people, stories about ourselves that is not real, with the idea that we will gain something out of it. So that is untruth. Yeah. So we fabricate things or fabricate image of ourselves. That is untruth. It's easy to fabricate, is it not? Everyone is a good actor. If you dress in a certain way, you show a certain image of ourselves, is it not? Yeah. And it's a look. It's what people opinion about us. And what we think that people's opinion about us will make us grow or gain some value some way. You see, so all this assumption, one on top the other, one on top the other, that eventually lead us to a path of untruth toward ourselves. Yeah. So from the, the behavior, the dress, the makeup, the who knows, the way how we spend so much time to show a certain image of ourselves. Yeah. So we need to cut down on this thing if you want to practice satya. You need to cut down on all this, makeup or make believe. You need to try to be who you are. You make a statement. I am who I am. Yeah. If people love me for my appearance, that's not true. Yeah. So as much as possible, practice honesty, practice sincerity, practice truthfulness. It means talking your heart. Talking your heart without exaggeration, with humility. Because sometimes talking your heart means also an emotional display. Emotional display is not necessarily the truth. Okay? So, because it can be called emotional manipulation. Emotional manipulation, is it the truth? Yeah. No, it's not. Yeah. So you are using your emotions in order to make a person externally to listen to you, to follow your way, to accept you, or to, to like you or whatever, So you are not, so you are not taking responsibility of your emotions. Okay, so you have to work on yourself. You have to work on yourself very hard, in order for you to be calm, not be afraid. Because the main thing is fear. If anger is the emotion behind ahimsa, violence, fear is the emotion behind truthfulness, untruthfulness. Okay? Why? Because we're afraid that we'll not be liked. We're afraid that we would not be able to find a job if we don't, appear to be this way or that way. We're afraid that people would think of us not being successful, intelligent, and, so then we exaggerate things a little bit, then after some time, the exaggeration become a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and our care about people's opinion become a little bit more. So then eventually we lost it. Yeah, we don't know anymore. So everything you can gain back step by step, word by word, thought by thought. Go back to the right path. Because the truth is the truth. Okay? The truth is the truth. And the way how you come closer to the truth is to be truthful. Not to follow your own mindset, your own criteria of what is successful. Because you might be successful in the world, but you might not be successful on the yoga path. Yoga path demands sacrifice. Yoga path demands a lot of courage, because you have to be courageous to tell the truth. or to be the truth. So think about this. I don't preach you. I'm just sharing some thoughts. I don't preach. Because with ethics and morals, it's easy to preach. No? I know how difficult it is. So the fear within us is very strong. The fear of not living up to the image we want others to have of us. Okay? So we have that fear, the very strong fear. So the fear leads to attachment, to attach to certain thoughts and opinion about us. It creates a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. Yeah, so we don't want to lose our name or fame or position. So then we start to go on the path of untruthfulness. So asteya means non-stealing in a narrow sense, non-stealing. But the larger sense is non-covetousness. Covetousness means desire or wanting something. Okay? You steal when you take something that doesn't belong to you because the karma did not allow that to happen. Yeah. So you say, I want it anyway, so I steal it. Okay? So that shows the ego. Strong sense of ego self, ego desire. But covetousness means you're going to think about it. You see? The neighbor has a nice electric car, and you think about it all the time. You know, you covet. Say, I wish I have this car. Person, the neighbor, he never drive anyway. Me, I drive every day. So, if I have an electric car, I save more energy. Neighbor, from time to time, drive a little bit, so, I wish I have this car. You see, so this is the thinking in the mind. Yeah. So they say this is covetousness. You desire something. Okay. If it comes to you, it already would have come. And you will not think about it so much, but you think about it a lot. Yeah? That means certain envy, certain jealousy, and desire. So what I say to you, desire is the bottom line of everything. Again, is the desire. Okay? So the yogi try not to think about this. Okay? Not to covet anything. And to practice the counterpart, which is contentment. I have everything. Wonderful. Thank you very much. I'm grateful to have everything already. My life is perfect. So the practice of contentment.
下午好，7人家晚哦，到时候去接你哦。
Somebody speaking Chinese, Chandrika, talk to the person not to mute themselves. Okay. So what that means, things that happen to you by your own karma. Yeah? So things happen to you by your own karma. That means it's things supposed to come to you for you to work out your karma, it would. Okay? So then be content with that. But if your mind starts to scheme and desire different things, yeah, and you have some negative tendency like this, lie or steal, then it's not something you need to indulge in. You need to really nip it in the bud. Always nail in your mind the idea that I am I'm so blessed. I am contented. Everything I got, yeah, is a blessing. So number 4, keep the time for me, please. Number 4 is called Brahmacharya. This is another big one. Okay, Brahmacharya, sometimes it says it's number 3, sometimes it says it's number 4. Brahmacharya is sublimation of sexual desire or sensual desire. I put sexual and sensual together, yeah, because they are together. Yeah. So because of the emotional need, yeah, that come with the senses, then from there the sexual energy is being stimulated. So sexual energy, according to yoga, is a sacred energy. Yeah, that is the core of our being, actually. Yeah, sexual energy is sacred, is the core of our being, is so much that the Ayurveda says if you can sublimate or you can change and transform the nature of your sexual energy instead of going downward, yeah, make it going upward, then you create what we call Ojas Shakti. Ojas Shakti is the power of sustenance of life. That's called the immune system. Yeah. So that means that you become so vibrant of vitality that you will be protected and you will not be sick. Imagine. So if you use your sexual energy freely, it brings your energy going downward and outward. If you can sublimate your sexual energy and your sensual energy to go inward and upward, yeah, then you live long. Yeah, your vitality, your longevity will be much stronger because you become immune to disease. So it's worth to think about it. Ancient time, the yogis are married. They are married and in a spiritual relationship, and they choose the time so that they can create the child, at the proper astrological good timing. Because they think about the future, they think about the child. The reason why they have intercourse is to create the child, yeah, and to have the honor and the sacred duty to take care of the child. Okay, so not out of satisfaction of a seeking of pleasure, yeah, but as a sacred duty. You see, it's very different. So nowadays we are seeking pleasure everywhere and whenever we can, because our goal of life is that, it's not some kind of highest duty with God to nourish a human being or something. It's not that. It's our selfish desire, yeah, to seek for pleasure and seek for happiness ourselves. So there's a lot of misbehavior, okay, regarding sexuality. And we live a life that is tamasic and rajasic. So therefore, this energy is not sublimated. It's not purified. It doesn't give you anything. It's a force that pulls you down. Yeah. And So people talk about, nowadays some people talk about, celibacy a little bit in the news, but it's still very narrow thinking, not really understanding that Brahmacharya is the whole path of change, of sublimation, of your whole entire energy to going toward the divine life. It's not just only abstain from sexual act. It's not that. It's transforming oneself to become a divine personality. It's living a sacred life, living a holy life, thinking in a very high, how to say that, manner. Okay? So please think like this. You feel more fulfillment. That Brahmacharya is not just abstention from the sexual act, but Brahmacharya is living a divine life. Yeah? And when you live the divine life, all your energy turn upward and you become so nourished and so happy, so fulfilled. Yeah? You are not losing anything. You don't feel the need of anything. You see? So you follow actually nature. There's nothing you do that is wrong. So it's all come from the mind, because it is said, somebody said, I forgot now. But if you, let's say you remove the sexual organ, doesn't mean that you abstain, you see, because the main thing is in the mind, the desire in the mind, okay? The selfish desire in the mind. So turning your life around by being sattvic, okay? Have a sattvic goal about life, sattvic way of living. Yeah, we ensure that path of Brahmacharya to be smooth. And nowadays it's very difficult because the news and everything is all very sexually how you say, intoxicated. Yeah, the life is sexually intoxicated. News are intoxicated. Everything is about passion and ego, and so you very rare to find some kind of entertainment that is not based on sexuality and violence. So life is more difficult. Doesn't mean that we would not seek that goal. Yeah. So I hope you come to satsang, because you are one of those rare people that wanted, the pure life, that wanted to grow, that wanted the good life. So it's wonderful to have your company, to have your satsanga, because if you look around, then things are not like that anymore. Okay. So aparigraha is number 5. It literally means non-grasping or non-accumulation. Okay, no greed. So the emotion is greed. Brahmacharya, the emotion is lust. Aparigraha is greed. No greed. What that means? You use what you need to use as material possession, but then don't accumulate. Because you never satisfy, because it's also coming from desire, and desire is insatiable. You cannot satisfy desire, because you satisfy and it want more and want more and want more and want more. So aparigraha means non-accumulation. Have a few things, of course, the tendency will be there, at one time I took vow that I only have one pair of shoes. This, I tell you, is very difficult, because then you say, oh, one pair of shoes. But, if you go out, it's rain, it's muddy, then you need the other kind of pair. And then if you go hiking, then you need this kind of pair. And then eventually you accumulated 3 pair of shoes and you never touch, like this. Okay. So accumulation means keeping your life simple, so that the spirit remain elevated. inspired. Okay. The 5 niyama, now we have no time now, so I have to move faster. The 5 yamas, the not to do. The 5 niyama means the to do. Okay. The try to observe, the observances. Okay. Saucha means the practice of purity. Yeah. In both internal and external. So in yoga, we call purification, all the practice to purify your energy, purify your thoughts, purify your surrounding. Practice of pranayama is a practice of purification of your prana. Yeah, the practice of positive thinking is a practice of purification of your thought. Okay, try not to hold any negative thoughts and emotion like hatred and envy and jealousy. All these are purification. Okay, karma yoga would purify the ego. So try to do more karma yoga to purify the ego. If things happen that is contradicting you, know that it's purification. If the things come out and you don't feel so well, like you can have some kind of disease, know also it's purification. It's like when you're fasting and then all of a sudden you feel so bad, so sick. It's purification. So the key of yogi is purification. The second that is so important also, I talked earlier, is santosha. Santosha means contentment. So you need to practice contentment every day when you wake up. Please write down 5 gratitudes. So help to contradict this idea that I need this, I need this. So you write down 5 things that you have and you are thankful about. Number 3 in niyamas is tapas. Yeah. So tapas means austerity or self-discipline. Yeah? It's about being simple. You don't have to hurt yourself, in tapas, but you have to somehow push a little bit your mind so to go in the right direction. Because if without tapas, your mind would want a lot of comfort, want a lot of indulgence, and it will go in the wrong direction. So every day practice a little tapas. Yeah, maybe restraining from this, restraining from that, so that it keep reminding yourself to be in the right direction. Okay, tapas, bearing a little bit cold, bearing a little bit heat. Yeah, it's considered tapas. Bearing a little bit insult. Bearing a company of a person that is not so nice. Bearing a little bit, this is called tapas. Okay. Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya, every day you need to practice swadhyaya, means study. Self-study, study of scriptures, listening to satsang is also swadhyaya, and reading a little bit of the reminder of the scripture is called swadhyaya. Okay, means nourish your intellect, so the intellect go in the right direction. Ishvara pranidhana. Ishvara pranidhana means self-surrender, the practice of self-surrender. That means every day you need to practice self-surrendering. That means not everything will go your way. Desire is a key to a lot of problems. So, and ego, desire and ego, remember 2 things. Yeah. So every day, if things are contradicting you, things don't go your way, accept. This is the practice. Then see the positive practice of acceptance and of self-surrender to what is, instead of constantly thinking that things should go your way. Okay, be humble. Yeah? Why things you go your way? You try to please somebody, try to say yes when something inside you say no. It's helping you to actually accepting that you don't know everything, that you are not the center of the universe. So help you to remove the ego. Okay, so that's what time now? 15 phút nữa. Okay, the 15 more minutes. I did not I did not know. I thought it's running out of time, so I rushed very quickly on the niyama. Okay, so you want more to talk about self-surrender, Ishvara Pranidhana? Yeah, things don't go your way, but things also can contradict you, painful. Okay, some karma, negative karma can come, very painful. Yeah, somebody tried to harm you, somebody tried to steal from you, somebody say negative thing about you. Yeah, and you would have to learn to accept. Yeah, it's not an easy thing. Yeah, you have to learn to accept that whatever the truth is beyond, yeah, what you're thinking anyway. The truth is beyond your right and wrong. Yeah, so you want to find the truth. Yeah, so you want to overcome the limitation of your own mind, the condition of your own mind. So you learn to go beyond by accepting things that are completely contradictory to what you think. So the practice of self-surrender is the culmination of the practice of bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is a practice of devotion to God and feeling that God is the supreme, and you need to surrender to the supreme, accept the supreme, even though you might not be understanding, but you accept. Okay, so that is the ninth step in bhakti yoga. Yeah, is the one that put God first, put the supreme first, not put yourself first. You are not God. Your opinion is not God. Your desire is not God. You yourself is not God. Yeah, so then you practice humility, okay, to accept, to surrender, and to accept. These are very good things to practice because, you know, our tendency is the opposite. Our tendency is a big ego. Our tendency is thinking that everyone has to follow me, you know, follow my will, and I don't have to do anything. The life is successful only when everyone follow my will. So this ego-driven self. So the yama and niyama is 5 things that it's easy for you to do, but it's better for you to restrain from. And the niyama, 5 things difficult for you to do, but it's still, you would have to do it. You would have to purify yourself. You would have to keep being contented. You would have to keep the tapas or the austerity, keep always restraining yourself, knowing your tendency is to wanting more. Yeah. So you have to restrain yourself, and then knowing that your mind doesn't like to read scripture because scripture would tell you things and you have to make the effort to fulfill. When if you read the news and you can blame and you can criticize and you can be negative and nobody would say anything. But if you going to read scripture, my God, it demands a lot from you. So you don't like to read and study scripture, but you need to study scripture all the time, every day. Okay, so that you can have a reminder. Okay, so do that as a must do every day. And then the last would be the practice of self-surrender. I mean, accept. Yeah, accept in other people, you know, what they do. This is very difficult because we all the time criticize other people. Yeah, so accept unconditionally what they do. Accept yourself also. It's not just accept other people or accept God's will, but accept yourself also. What you think, what we do, yeah, accept ourselves as well. Don't beat ourselves, don't be too difficult with ourselves, you know, because again, it's the mind that is have this tendency, you know, to demand and to want things this way, that way, and not being soft and not being humble, you know. So keep that practice of self-surrendering, being humble. Okay? So anybody has any question? Yamas, niyamas is a two first step foundation of the 8 limbs yoga. Okay? Nowadays people practice yoga a lot, but they jump over the 2 foundation. It's like you have a ladder of 8 steps and you jump to stage number 3. You jump to stage number 3, you might fall down and break your neck. So it's better go slow. Yama, niyama, it's very difficult. Even it's difficult to talk about this because it's so big. It involves so many things. Everything is desire, everything is ego, and we have to do this, have to do that, don't do this and don't do that. Oh my God, it's so difficult. But it's good to do. It's good to think about it and step by step every day. I advise people to do, for example, the one of the yama on Monday, another one on Tuesday. So you keep your mind all the time alert. It's 7 days, you roll after them, and then you roll back again. You have 10. So you keep every day remembering yourself something, okay, or every month. So these are the basic foundational practice of yoga, because yoga is purity, yoga is finding the pure self, yoga is transparency, yoga is right there. The truth is right there, but our impurities hide the truth since so long, and we've been repeating the untruth since so long, and we suffer from it, and we blame others, but we don't look at the cause that is within ourselves. So we need to stop for a moment, take a deep breath, say, I'm going to practice yamas, niyamas as best as I can. One little thought at a time, one little sincerity at a time, and step by step, build up your foundation very solid. Then all the other practice will be built upon it, and meditation will happen. You will be practicing yamas, niyamas without much struggle. Is it okay? So thank you for being here, and hopefully I see you next week. Okay? Every week you are there to remind me, and I remind you, we remind each other. Okay? Thank you. We say the prayer now because we need to do arati as well. Oh.